Country music legend Brett James, the genius behind Jesus, Take the Wheel, and literally hundreds of your favorite songs, died in a plane crash in North Carolina. And guys, there were no survivors. This story is so sad because we're not just talking about any songwriter here. We're talking about someone who shaped the soundtrack of our lives for over 2 decades. So grab your tissues because we need to talk about what happened and celebrate the incredible legacy Brett left behind. For those of you who might not know the name Brett James, trust me, you definitely know his music. This man was basically the secret weapon behind Nashville's biggest hits. Born Brett James Cornelius in Columbia, Missouri back in 1968, this guy didn't just write songs, he crafted experiences. And can we talk about his track record for a second? Over 500 songs recorded during his career. 500! That's absolutely insane. But here's what really blows my mind. He had 27 #1 hits. 27! Like, that's not just talent, that's pure magic. You want to know how big this guy was? He wrote for everyone. Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, Keith Urban, even Bon Jovi. This man could write country, pop, rock, literally anything. His most famous song, Jesus, Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood. That song didn't just go #1, it won a Grammy for Best Country Song in 2006. And honestly, can you even imagine country music without that song? It's impossible. But wait, there's more. He also gave us Taylor Swift's A Perfectly Good Heart from her debut album, Kenny Chesney's Out Last Night, Jason Aldean's hits. This man's fingerprints are all over the music that defined the 2000s and 2010s. In 2020, he was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, which is basically like getting knighted in the music world. The man was respected. Now let's talk about what went down on Thursday, September 18th, because this story is absolutely tragic. Brett was flying his personal plane, a Cirrus SR-22T, from Nashville to North Carolina. The flight took off from John C. Toon Airport in Nashville around 12:41 p.m. Central Time. Everything seemed normal at first, but then around 3 p.m. local time, something went horribly wrong. The plane crashed in a field in Franklin, North Carolina, which is about 270 miles southeast of Nashville. And here's what makes this even more heartbreaking. It crashed right near Eyodola Valley Elementary School. Can you imagine how terrifying that must have been for those kids and teachers? Thankfully, and I mean thankfully, everyone at the school was safe. The Macon County Sheriff's Office made sure to post on Facebook immediately, saying all students and staff were okay. But here's the devastating part. There were 3 people on that plane, and according to the Federal Aviation Administration, there were no survivors. None. The other 2 victims were identified as Melody Carroll and Merrill Maxwell Wilson. Our hearts go out to their families too, because this tragedy affected multiple families. The National Transportation Safety Board is now investigating what happened. They've got investigators on the scene and hopefully will get some answers about what caused this terrible crash. Guys, when news of Brett's passing broke, Nashville literally stopped. The reactions from his friends and collaborators have been absolutely heartbreaking, and they really show you just how loved this man was. Jason Aldean posted on social media saying, "Heartbreaking to hear of the loss of my friend Brett James tonight. I had nothing but love and respect for that guy, and he helped change my life. Honored to have met him and worked with him." Can you hear the pain in those words? He helped change my life. That's the impact Brett had on people. Dierks Bentley called him a total stud and a fellow aviator because yes, Brett was a pilot himself. Bentley wrote, "One of the best singer-songwriters in our town, total legend." The American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers said Brett was a trusted collaborator to country's greatest names and a true advocate for his fellow songwriters. They called him part of their ACE-CAP family. And here's what really gets me. The Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, where Brett was inducted in 2020, said they were devastated by the loss of our longtime friend. These aren't just professional statements, you guys. These are friends mourning someone they loved and respected, someone who made their careers better, their songs better, their lives better. What I find so touching is how everyone keeps mentioning that Brett wasn't just talented, he was a good person. He advocated for other songwriters, he lifted people up. In an industry that can be cutthroat, Brett was apparently one of the good ones. Let's take a moment to really appreciate what Brett James gave us, because his legacy is massive. First off, the numbers alone are staggering. His songs appeared on albums with combined sales of over 110 million copies. That's not just successful, that's culture-defining. But it's not just about the numbers. Brett had this incredible ability to write songs that hit you right in the feelings. Jesus Take the Wheel isn't just a country song, it's become this anthem of faith and letting go that people turn to in their darkest moments. He could write a heartbreak song that made you cry, then turn around and write a party anthem that made you want to dance. That versatility is so rare in songwriting. What I love about Brett's approach is that he understood the power of collaboration. He didn't just write songs and hand them over, he worked with artists to create something magical. That's why so many of his collaborations became career-defining hits for the artists who recorded them. He also wasn't just sitting in the background collecting checks. Brett served on the board of the Country Music Association and was a national trustee of the Recording Academy. He owned his own publishing company, Cornman Music. This man was actively working to make the industry better for everyone. And can we talk about his range for a second? Country, pop, rock, he could do it all. That Taylor Swift collaboration shows he understood what made young artists tick. His work with established stars like Kenny Chesney showed he could write for any career stage. The fact that he was still actively writing and collaborating up until his death shows his passion never dimmed. At 57, he could have easily retired and lived off his royalties. Instead, he was still creating, still flying to meetings, still pushing boundaries. You know what makes this tragedy feel so personal, even for those of us who never met Brett? It's that his songs are literally the soundtrack to our lives. Think about it. How many times have you been driving and Jesus Take the Wheel comes on and you just have to sing along? How many breakups were soundtracked by songs Brett helped create? How many celebrations, road trips, late-night drives featured his work? That's the thing about great songwriters. They become part of our personal histories without us even realizing it. Brett James didn't just write songs. He wrote moments. He wrote feelings. He wrote memories. And now knowing that brilliant mind is gone, that there won't be any new Brett James songs, it feels like losing a friend, even though most of us never met him. What's also heartbreaking is thinking about all the songs we'll never get to hear, all the collaborations that will never happen, all the young artists he'll never get to mentor. But here's what I keep coming back to. Brett James lived his passion fully. He was doing what he loved, creating music that moved people, right up until the end. That's both tragic and beautiful. Brett James leaves behind his wife Sandra and their 4 children, and honestly, I can't even imagine what they're going through right now. This man who brought so much joy to the world through his music is gone too soon. But here's what I want you to do. Go listen to a Brett James song today. Whether it's Jesus Take the Wheel, something from Taylor Swift's debut album, or one of those Kenny Chesney hits you love so much, play it loud, sing along. Remember that behind that song was a man who poured his heart and soul into creating something that would touch your heart and soul. Let me know in the comments which Brett James song means the most to you. I have a feeling we're going to see hundreds of different answers, and that's going to be the most beautiful tribute to his incredible range and talent. Rest in peace, Brett James. Thank you for the soundtrack to our lives. Your music will live on forever. If this video moved you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories about the people behind the music we love. And please keep Brett's family and the families of Melody Carroll and Meryl Maxwell Wilson in your thoughts during this incredibly difficult time. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.